The Lord be with you.
And with his spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. As Jesus was leaving Jericho with his disciples and a sizable crowd, Bartimaeus, a blind man, the son of Timaeus, sat by the roadside begging. On hearing that it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to cry out and say, "Jesus, Son of David, have pity on me." And many rebuked him, telling him to be silent. But he kept calling out all the more, "Son of David, have pity on me." Jesus stopped and said, "Call him." So they called the blind man, saying to him, "Take courage, get up, Jesus is calling you." He threw aside his cloak, sprang up, and came to Jesus. Jesus said to him in reply, "What do you want me to do for you?" The blind man replied to him, "Master, I want to see." Jesus told him, "Go your way, your faith has saved you." Immediately he received his sight and followed him on the way. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
In our first reading for today, Jeremiah draws special attention to the blind and the lame. These people are the vulnerable and the marginalized of society. We see also in there God's salvation is opened to everyone. In the gospel, Jesus asks Bartimaeus, "What do you want me to do for you?" The blind man replied, "Master, I want to see." Jesus said to him, "Go your way, your faith has saved you." Bartimaeus received his sight and follows Jesus on the way. Here is an example of Jesus' salvific activity. Bartimaeus calls to Jesus using the messianic title, Son of David. Bartimaeus is blind, but he sees Jesus for who he really is, the Messiah, the one who has the power to heal the blind and cure the lame. Bartimaeus follows Jesus on the way. And it is important that we note that the way is a major theme in Mark's gospel. It is Jesus' journey to Jerusalem, to his passion and his death. The way also indicates the road to discipleship and taking up one's cross. Our readings for this weekend invite us to rejoice in God's saving action in our lives. We can rejoice and ask the Lord to cure us of any of the blindness that keeps us from seeing the path that leads to God's heart and from accepting the crosses in our lives along the way. I am moved by the faith of Bartimaeus and his insistent cry for Jesus to have mercy on him. Here is a blind beggar sitting on the roadside. Others are trying to quiet him. Those who think he is unsightly, too needy, or just too embarrassing to be with. I recognize the story as an external drama of the powers that be, trying to silence and make invisible those on the edges of society, those who sit on the roadside, the blind and the lame, those that are begging for their next meal. I also recognize an internal drama taking place. I, am Bartimaeus in this story. I am the beggar, or at least parts of my own inner being which cry out for healing, for attention, for presence, and for witness. The powers that try to silence this voice within me are those characters within as my inner judge, my perfection, who have no room for tolerance or for those ragged aspects of my inner being. Bartimaeus moves me with compassion because of his refusal to be silenced of what is acceptable in our world today. I find myself drawn to Jesus, who is the voice of wisdom, and he does not dismiss anyone who is unworthy. In the Christian tradition, hospitality is about welcoming the stranger as the face of Christ. It is in welcoming that it is most tender and uncomfortable that we encounter the divine presence. Might this gospel message for all of us be an invitation to hospitality? What is the part of me on the edge of the road begging for sustenance? What is it that I most deeply desire right now in my life? And how does this desire point to the way ahead?